When I first read her message on the phone, I thought my eyes were deceiving me. There it was, clear as day, her words to a friend, asterisk, stop overreacting, it's only for fun, just spending time with him. Asterisk, my chest tightened as if someone had punched me. 4 months, I had trusted her late-night outings and her excuses about being busy with friends. But this wasn't a misunderstanding. This was betrayal dressed in casual words. That evening, when she came home smiling like nothing had happened, I kept my face calm. I didn't want her to sense my discovery. Instead, I played along, asked her how her day was, and even offered to cook dinner. She laughed and teased me, calling me too serious as always. Inside, though, I had already begun shaping my plan for revenge. The next few days, I observed quietly. She spent more and more time on her phone, often hiding the screen when I walked in. Sometimes she would leave for coffee with a friend, returning hours later with a cheerful mood. I didn't confront her. Confrontation would only give her a chance to lie. I wanted her to feel the sting of her own actions, not through anger, but through consequence. I began preparing carefully. I pulled money out of our joint account, moving it into a private one she didn't know about. I spoke with a lawyer and explained the situation, showing him screenshots of her messages. He advised patience, and patience was exactly what I had. The truth was my greatest weapon, and I intended to use it. To her, life seemed normal. She still smiled in front of me, still acted like the perfect wife in public, while privately belittling my trust. The irony burned me, but I held my tongue. At night, I would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, imagining the day she would realize how badly she had underestimated me. Then came the perfect opportunity. Our anniversary was approaching. She suggested we celebrate late, as she already had plans with a friend on the actual date. I nodded and told her it was fine. She looked relieved, maybe even excited, thinking she had gotten away with it again. That was the day I chose to turn the tables. On our anniversary evening, while she was out, I arranged a small gathering at our home. Close friends, a few of my relatives, and even her parents were invited. I told them I wanted to surprise her with a slideshow of memories and a toast to our years together. Everyone agreed, touched by the idea. When she returned later that night, still dressed from her outing, she walked into a room full of smiling faces. Her expression froze. I welcomed her warmly, kissed her cheek, and guided her inside. She forced a smile, no doubt panicking inside, but she didn't dare show it. The room was darkened as I played the slideshow. At first, it was sweet. Photos from our wedding, vacations, and birthdays. People clapped and smiled. But then, I shifted the slides. Screenshots of her messages appeared one by one, her words displayed in black and white. Asterisk, stop overreacting, it's only for fun, just spending time with him. Asterisk, the room fell silent. Gasps erupted. She froze in her chair, her face pale. Her parents looked horrified. My relatives exchanged whispers. She tried to speak, but I raised my hand. Calmly, I explained how long this had been going on, how I had discovered her betrayal, and how I no longer intended to live a life built on lies. Every word was measured, every sentence delivered like a verdict. When I finished, I announced that I had already begun divorce proceedings. I told everyone she had mocked my loyalty while enjoying another man's company. The truth was out in the open, undeniable and raw. Her eyes filled with tears, but I felt nothing. For the first time in months, I felt free. The room eventually emptied, leaving her sitting on the couch, trembling. She begged me to talk, to understand, to forgive. But forgiveness had no place in this story anymore. She had played with my trust as if it were a toy, and now the toy was broken beyond repair. In the weeks that followed, she tried to reach out. She sent long messages, called endlessly, even showed up at my workplace. I ignored it all. Revenge wasn't in shouting or fighting, it was in showing her that her fun had cost her everything. Her marriage, her respect, and her future with me. My life moved forward. I focused on work, on friends who stood by me, and on rebuilding myself. She, on the other hand, was left with whispers behind her back and the shame of her own choices. That was the sweetest revenge. Not anger, not cruelty, but the silence of a man who no longer cared. And in that silence, she finally realized, betrayal might feel like a game in the moment, but the consequences are never just for fun.